Hi everyone, my name is Menaka. I work with the communications team at We Benefit. And today we have Kuldeep Dantewadia, who is the co-founder and CEO of We Benefit. And this is part of the Societal Leaders interview series with societal platforms. Hi Kuldeep, good morning.
Hi Menaka, good morning.
So this is supposed to be a set of rapid fire questions. So I don't think you're allowed to think too much before you answer them. So shall we dive right into it?
Sure.
Okay, so where is home for you?
Home is Bangalore.
Okay, have you been here all your life?
Yeah, I've been here all my life, so Bangalore is home.
Bangalore is home. And if you needed to evacuate in a jiffy, what is the one thing you would take with you from home?
One thing, I don't know, but family members for sure. I think in this lockdown, I've realized the importance of family members more than ever. So I guess family members. I can't name one to avoid controversy, so everyone.
That would be dangerous, yeah. Okay, what are you reading right now?
So right now I'm reading the autobiography of a yogi. I'm reading that. That's the current book I'm reading.
Okay. And who or what is inspiring you right now?
Right now, looking for inspiration. I mean to say, I was involved in the government task force along with Gautam, and just seeing the number of people, who are willing to, put their hands up and get things done on the ground. I think that was absolutely inspiring in a situation like this. So a lot of invisible people whom I met in the first and the second phase of lockdown, were really inspiring.
And an organization you admire?
I mean to say, with years it has changed. Obviously, as a young boy, I admired Apple and the whole Steve Jobs story. But I truly admire Arvind Eye Care. Arvind Eye Care is an organization I have deeply admired. I admire in the not-for-profit space a combination of Seva and MKSS. I think there is so much to learn from them. And my latest has been for the last year or so Kutumbashri. So it's Arvind Eye Care, Kutumbashri, MKSS and Seva. These are some inspirational organizations.
Okay. So is there one word to describe your leadership style?
Curious, I think. I'm a very curious person. So yeah, curious.
And any one leader who inspires you?
Yeah, so different types. I mean to say, for me, Anshu Gupta is a great leader to learn from how he's gone about in the last few years. Then Dr. V from Arvind Eye Care, he's been a great inspiration. Early days, I got to have an inside view of Harish Hande of Selco. So these are some people who have inspired me, and one of our board members, Kalyan Kumar Banerjee, is the co-founder of Mindtree Consulting. So he's also been a very inspirational person, and Mrs. Hema Hattangdi, who's also on our board. I think these are the 4 or 5 people who have played a very big role.
And if you weren't doing what you're doing right now, what role or profession do you think you'd be doing instead?
I've been thinking of this a lot during the lockdown. I think a lot of existential questions have come. So what would I have been doing if not this? I don't know. I really don't know. My instinct says I would have been in the development sector, as the world calls it. Something probably around teaching, that could be one part. But I would have been definitely in this space for sure.
What's the one thing you look for a person when you're hiring them?
I mean to say, again, with time, 2 things. One is authenticity, how authentic and vulnerable they are. But that also leads to problems sometimes because a huge trust bias gets formed. But second, with time, I've started observing how does a person react to their own decisions and mistakes. There are 2 types of people. You find people who externalize a lot. This was not okay, that's not okay, the situation was not okay. So I look for what kind of reasons people give. So I look for how many verbs are there in the conversation rather than adjectives. So that's how I have built my mechanism to look for in people.
I'm going to have to choose my verbs and adjectives carefully when I do that. Okay. Why is societal platform thinking relevant during uncertain times like this?
I think the suffix, right, uncertain times. So basically what I've learned, Menika, is all these are big words, but in uncertain times it's become more clear that in certain times you are building systems, structures, processes, and the underlying essence of that is control. You're doing all these things to control systems. In uncertain times, controls go for a toss, processes go for a toss, right? So what I've realized is this: in the certain times, the controls make the system very fragile in nature. And societal platforms is continuously working in trying to make the system anti-fragile, because uncertain times requires anti-fragile way of functioning. Also, what societal platform does is it pushes for more proactive thinking, because in uncertain times you have to be proactive and you have to move fast. You cannot be reactive, right? And when you're proactive, the distribution of power is almost balanced. Whereas when you're reactive, there is a sense of beneficiary and provider. So I think the way the process of societal platform or the thinking of societal platform is very basic. It's not like a 2-year, 3-year phenomena. All great social movements have had societal platform thinking. Gandhiji had societal platform thinking in many ways. So I think that's the only way to move forward, and it allows for localization, which I think is very important, which aligns with our work. So that's why I feel it's important.
Name one of the societal platform missions that you would like to learn more from.
Great question. I think of the missions I have read and seen, definitely the audacity and the scale of Project Echo is great. But my deeper inclination is towards digital green. I'm known of digital green for some time, because digital green, though the mechanism is to transfer knowledge, but deep down the essence is to build on the ability to solve. So I like what digital green has done, and there are lots of things we can learn from digital green.
Last question: what has been the hardest part of adopting a societal platform approach?
I think the hardest part, Menika, is for us has been how do we morph this thinking into technology? Because technology does not understand the way we are thinking about it. So translating this into technology is one very difficult part. And the second part is execution is always very different from articulation. So while all this is great, we are ultimately humans at the end of the day. There is a need for control. There is a need for centralization. There is a need for processes. So how do you kind of implement this in spirit rather than in articulation and idea? I think is always going to be a challenge.